folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, we're coming here with another review of an exceptional phone from our good friends at At&t.com. That's At&t.com, now with the fastest download and upload speeds. And of course, they've had that for some time, actually, from all the tests we've done. So be sure to check them out. Go to their website. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube, see more of the phone mobile reviews that we do, and all that good stuff. So what we have here today is the new thing you can get on their website. It's the LG G Flex, the LG G Flex, and it has some pretty unique properties that are not normally found in mobile devices. We'll talk about some of those as we get into it. Namely, it can actually flex. It also has a self-healing back to a certain degree and a few other specialties in its software setup. So let's get into, of course, the specs first. We want to talk about some of the details here. It runs on Android 4.2.2. It's 6.32 inches in height, 3.21 inches in width, and 0.31 inches in thickness. It's a very big phone, ladies and gentlemen. Its weight is 6.4 ounces. Its physical size is 6-inch screen display. 6-inch screen display. Holy crap, they just keep getting bigger. One downside of this that I was disappointed in, though, one of the few things I'm disappointed in the phone, it only has a 720p screen as opposed to a 1080p screen. But I do have to tell you, it's such a big and beautiful screen, you almost don't notice that it's not 1080p. So, well, it was a disappointment. It's such a big, beautiful screen. It's pretty enjoyable to watch. We'll talk about that some more. So it's got 245 ppi. It's a P-OLED screen, and it's got 16.7 million colors. Its camera is a 13 megapixel camera, and it's got some really cool stuff when it comes to focusing on cameras, where it's got a crosshair system, much like you find in high-end cameras. We'll talk about that in a bit too. It's got 1080p HD video at 60 frames per second, not 30, 60. So that's good. The front-facing camera is 2.1 megapixels. It's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800. These are the best that are out right now. The quad core is a 2.26 gigahertz Kraut 400, and it comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage. And the other thing that's really cool about this phone, it's got a massive battery, 3,500 milliamp hour batteries. That's almost 2.5 times bigger than what you find in an iPhone. So you can definitely play all day and into the next with this phone. And of course, it has NFC technology. Does not have expandable micro USB or micro SD cards that you can put in. Doesn't have a removable back or any of that stuff that sometimes you've seen in different products. So that's the basic rundown of it. Interesting enough, it's got a curved design to it. What I found with the curved design is I actually kind of like it. When you look at most large phablet type phones, you find the screen falls away from you. What's really nice is the curve actually seems to bring the screen closer to you, and I tend to enjoy it a lot more. You have your front-facing camera up here. You have your speaker. You have a capacitive touchscreen, home, menu, back button, and all that good stuff. No formal hard buttons on the front here. Let's go ahead and turn to the side so you can kind of get an idea as to what this looks like when it's sideways. You can see there's a definite curve taking place on this side and giving it that, what's the right word, concave sort of look. And then across the back, we have the back. So let's go ahead and pull this aside, take a look at what's on the back for us. Now, on the back, we have your rear-facing camera, of course, your LED flash lamp, and we also have a IR blaster. And most IR blasters we've seen out of the few phones that have produced them have been at the top. This is really interesting. It's out the front. I kind of like it, although it is kind of a bit of a pain to hold the phone at an angle with your wrist. Now, what's really, really interesting about this phone is the power button is here. There's also a notification light in the power button. So it's in the back. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You have your volume rocker actually right here too. The only problem I found with this that many people have is you end up putting your fingers by accident all over your camera when you're trying to volume up, volume down power button. And you constantly, if you're going to take pictures, you've got to wipe that off. You've got a speaker there at the bottom. Down the side, you have a SIM card tray. Down the other side, there's really nothing there. At the top, we have a small microphone hole. And at the bottom, you have your sync charge cable area, small microphone hole, and an earphone jack. So very weird that you have your thing on the back. Now, one thing we should probably talk about as long as we're back here is not only is it flexible, this back area is self-healing. So you can scar it, and it will take and self-heal to a certain degree. Although many people have noticed that self-healing isn't quite perfect. It kind of heals, makes it not look quite as bad, but still if you look closely enough, you can see scratches and scars. So it has a bit of ways to go. The other element of the G Flex, and one of the reasons it's aptly so named, is because you can take and flex it, and it will flex and pop back into shape using a little bit of force. The idea here is that if you have this in your pocket, your wallet, your purse, you sit on it and everything else, it will be able to flex as opposed to just smash and break and end up costing you a boatload of money. So very neat. Now, one thing that's really cool about the phone, and I hope more mobile people incorporate this into their future phones, is just by tapping, you can pull this out of standby mode. So you just tap on the screen, and away you go. Comes right out of standby mode for you. So that's very cool from that angle where you can take and pull it in and out of standby. Now, it's got some really cool innovations and integrations. You've got the Qslide that's in here. You can do quick memos. You also have control over the IR blaster and all that good stuff. One other thing is they've added a few different things, kind of compete with the Samsung products on different things that you can take and do with setting it up. What they have set up is you can take and do a program where you can take and do basically like a multi-app thing. And in doing the multi-apps on the screen, you can drag and drop, and in so doing, you can have two different screens going on the same browser screen. Kind of cool, but I don't think a lot of people use it with the Samsung product. I know I don't use it much. It's not just really not that exciting to me. There is a few different things that are on here. They actually have a wireless storage where you can upload your storage, or I guess see the storage that's on the phone at a certain IP address. I haven't gotten it to work. I don't know if there's an issue with it or an update that needs to come out, but it hasn't worked for me. But evidently you can turn on the wireless storage, and once you do, you can take and be able to upload your stuff or see what's on the phone, to my understanding of it, and just type in the IP address and away you go. Like I said, I haven't gotten to work, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. And you got battery saver, LED, and a few other different things you can take and do with your quick notifications. I like the improved style that they're using for the LG OS. There's definitely some great improvements to it, and stuff that I think they're getting better. I haven't been a big fan of LG's OS very much, but it definitely has gotten better in what they're doing and how things are working. You can see here we've got a great swipe, great screens, and everything else. One other feature that a lot of people don't notice in the LGs is what they call their Qslide function. And the Qslide function makes it so you can use a number of pre-programmed apps to go over the screen, basically float over the screen, if you will. Videos, phone, messaging, calendar, email, a few different things. And you can, of course, edit what you want to take and do. But what's really nice about it is you can take and have it float over the screen. You can adjust, I believe, the opacity of it, and you can make it more opaque, and you can also make it more so that it controls the screen, or you can have it so it sees to the screen. Say you want to calculate your flight information you're looking on the screen on a website, etc., etc. You can take and do that. I believe they're manageable, where you can adjust these, and you can take and close them and all that good stuff. Not something I use a lot with the LGs that I have, but it's there. Okay, so here we run the Geekbench 3 scores. Now you can say what you want. There's some people that say a lot of companies, well, they actually did find companies like Samsung that were cheating the system, recognizing benchmarks and amping up their benchmarking scores in code. But we're going to share this with you anyway so you can see what this is, because you need to have some comparison. If everyone's cheating, well, then I guess here's the scores. So we came out with an 877 single-core score and a multi-core score of 2239. You can see here the Android system, of course, that we're running to build and all that good stuff. Definitely a 4-core, fast, super fast processor that they have in here. I'm very impressed with it, and it does a really great job at kicking butt and taking names. I've been fairly impressed with it and really enjoyed it. Okay, so let's talk about this camera. One thing that's very interesting about this camera is it has like a crosshairs sort of thing that it focuses in on. You can see it right there. It will kick on in different modes. It doesn't really have anything to focus in on here. Let's see if maybe that will help. But you can see here it will focus much like a camera. If you can see the little green dots, it'll focus like a camera in having these crosshairs, and you can pick where you want to take and focus. And you have much of the same different controls that you would have with your standard Android phones. They've added some competitive stuff to the LG camera that you find now in the Samsung, like Shoot and Clear, HDR, Panorama. You've probably seen this with the Samsung products. They've added this to be competitive. Of course, we can change different modes. You can, of course, go into settings, change different settings. You can change the focus type, which is really cool. I really like that. And they made a really good job with this camera and the menu setups on what you can do with it. You, of course, have the voice where you can say the voice and have stuff done. You also, of course, have the mode available in video where you can take and adjust it. Very great job they did on this video menu and how it looks compared to what LG's done in the past. So I'm very impressed with it from that angle, and it takes great pictures. Now, one thing that really is great about this phone that most phones can't do right now is this will do 4K video, Ultra HD 4K video at 3840 by 2160. So there you have it. Pretty darn awesome. I don't know what the frames per second are. Definitely 60 frames per second is pretty cool and high end that you can take and get. But the fact that it does that is pretty darn awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at the video and photos that you get off the LG G Flex. I've been very impressed with them. The flash lamp is very strong. This is a video that we've taken in utter complete darkness, and the lamp takes and fills the room, lights it up, focuses very well in complete utter dark situations. So really strong lamp flash. You can see here the flash in a completely utterly dark room, lighting up the room very well, getting all the aspects in focus. So very impressed with that too. Video wise, takes really beautiful video and photos. I really love the quality of the picture and how it looks. You can see that there's several different things you can do with the videos, different edit modes, and everything else, zoom ins you can do after you do a video. Pretty cool. And I'm very impressed. Just the quality in the video and the photos I really, really enjoyed. And so I can speak very highly to them in my experience of what I thought of it. Here's some great pictures you can see here of my dogs, of course. And they came out really well. I really like how the pictures come out on this LG camera. Definitely enjoyed it. So all in all, I really enjoyed the phone. I kind of like the curved screen. I think it's easier to look at and kind of comes towards you and just kind of feels like it rotates around your face much better. It's definitely fast, definitely speedy, definitely rock and roll, great chip, beautiful screen. Even though I really like 1080p, I actually enjoy looking at the screen even though I know it's 720p. And other than that, it's a nice little phone. Ergonomically, the curve holds fairly comfortable in your hand, almost more comfortable than more phones. You feel like the curved phone is coming up towards you, and that makes it very nice and feeling comfortable in the hand. So be sure to go to AT&t.com. That's AT&t.com. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Chris Voss Tested, Chris Voss Crew. Be sure to check in the ChrisVossShow.com often for all the latest and greatest in social media, tech, and the mobile world. Thanks for coming by. See you then.